Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Today I am going to be sharing some super cute bunny DIYs, and as always, I hope you enjoy the show. Grab one of these Dollar Tree eggs. This one is MDF board, but they also come in wood, and either one would work for this project. I just slapped some white paint on. I'm using chalk paint, but you can certainly use acrylic paint. It would work just fine for this project. I also grabbed some of the Dollar Tree bunnies, and I filled in the little holes in their ears at the top there with some spackling. Now I'm just taking some light custom-made pink that I'm dry brushing on there. You can see I mixed the pink with the white paint, and I'm just kind of adding some dimension. I'm not really distressing this. I'm literally just adding some pink in there and some dimension. Now I'm taking a utility knife, and I'm scoring the board this way. I am using a utility knife to make it kind of deeper and more obvious, but there is a scoring tool that the Dollar Tree sells that would work just fine. And you can also just leave it. I'm all for a minimalist look. That's a nice look too. It really depends on your decor style. I definitely like texture and dimension. I like the piece to look more interesting and textured on the wall or wherever I'm going to display something. So I tend to lean in this direction, but you can certainly skip it. And follow me on Facebook. We are having so much fun over there. I post different things. There's crafts. You can share your crafts. There's a little tab called Mentions at the top. Post your photos up there. I am letting everybody know that there is a glitch with Facebook where your photos are hidden. I scroll down there every day to the bottom, and I am finding photos that were posted in January that were not visible to me. So I used AI, and they said that's a well-known glitch that people complain about. So when I see your crafts, most of them show up. I do share them. And so then I dry brushed a little bit of brown paint over the top of this again, just to add texture and, well, not texture, dimension, I guess. And I did the edge of the egg to make it pop. And now I'm adding my florals. These are from Dollar Tree. They're so beautiful. I love these so much. I think it was one of Dollar Tree's prettiest florals that they brought out. And some people ask me about that spatula still. I've been asked about that for 6 years. It's just a silicone spatula. Now the Dollar Tree did add more plastic and took out, I don't know what they did with the composition, but it stopped working after a while. So any 100% silicone spatula that you can find is great to keep the hot glue off your fingers, and the hot glue won't stick. You can just peel it right off. So it's great for that. And I'm adding a bow at the top here. It's from Hobby Lobby, 50% off, and some lamb's ear in the center to cover the twine. Next, I'm just going to sand the spackling of the bunnies to make it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to stain these. Now, I used wax with a baby wipe, and the top where the little spackling was didn't stain as evenly. See, I'm trying to dab extra stain on there. I'm like, what's going on? It didn't take the stain as well because obviously it's not wood. But what I did is just added extra with a brush and covered it, and then kind of put shadows around the edge of the ears. You'll see that further down, and that worked perfectly to cover it up so you can't see it. Then I attached all 3 bunnies using Surebonder hot glue. It is still sticking. I love this so much. And then I added the little twine bows at the neck just for a gentle accent piece. I didn't want to go heavy with that. And then the bottom for me was too empty. You could stop there, but I really loved the Spanish moss at the bottom. And so I add it and trim it so it's not too bulky because it's going to hang off the wall. And this hairspray, oh my gosh, that is real hairspray that I use in real life. I rarely use it, but when I do use hairspray, and that stuff is so amazing. It's like a bad boy. I sprayed this and not one single bit of Spanish moss ever fell off. It worked so good. Love this. For this DIY, I found this really pretty fabric, and it's very generous. You get quite a bit. I have a pattern for a bunny. That's a free printable. You'll find it down below in my description box. And I got this quilting from Amazon. Now, if you don't have something like that, I'm showing you this foam that I got in an Amazon package, and it was for free. It came protecting something, and I kept it. That would also work for this craft as well. You could also use cotton balls, and we're going to have to iron. That's a nice thing about buying the cloth on the roll. You don't have to iron, but when you buy it folded up like this, you have to iron. So I'm showing you my new iron that I got. I finally splurged on a really nice iron, and we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of water. And I just folded a sheet down It was a queen size sheet, and I just folded it down so that I protect my tabletop there and gave it everything a quick iron so there's no wrinkles. There's our pattern, our little bunny that I chose, and I'm going to cut him out. Then I'm going to trace him on some cardboard, and we're going to cut out 3 cardboard shapes. I was going to just stuff these bunnies, and then after examining the batting that I have, the quilt batting, I decided that it was a little bit thinner than I wanted, and I wasn't sure they were going to be able to lean up very well or stand up very well. So for this year, we're going to go ahead and put some cardboard in between the batting. So we're going to have cardboard, and then we're going to have the batting on either side of the cardboard. So all I did here, it's pretty self-explanatory, is I just glue the batting down, and then I put, I just put it on both sides of the bunny, and I do that for all 3 bunnies. When it came to gluing the material together, I just kept my glue very, very close right along the edge of the cardboard, and then I pressed in with my nails to make sure that the seam was close to the cardboard and the batting as possible. And then I just take my scissors when I'm all done, and I'm going to give these guys a trim. Using a Dollar Tree lace ribbon, I'm going to put bows on these guys. Now, last year when I put a bow on a bunny with 2 little tails, because I'm using the Dollar Tree pom-poms here for the tail, and as you can see, I want the 2 there to have bows on the opposite sides of their neck, and then the middle one is kind of, I love the little bunny faces. He's kind of my favorite, that material, so the bow's in the center. But I had some people come on and say, you can't put bows on the back, that's the back of them. And I thought, well, why not? Because I used to have a Shih Tzu, and when I took him to get bathed, he would come out with a little bow on the back of his neck. So, oh, and my cats, well, not me, my mother, she used to take our cats in to get bathed. To be fair to my mother, she only did it twice because they were very unhappy. But they also came back with bows on the back of their necks. So if you want to leave them off, you can. I think that looks cute too. Definitely if you're doing like a rustic or primitive look, that would be great. But I love the little bows on the side of their neck or on the back, and I still see this as the back of the bunny. But anyway, as always, I would love to know what you guys think. They're all done. They were super fun to make. They make great accent pieces around the house. You can put them wherever you want, on console tables, floating shelves. They're just super fun, and they add a lot of festive energy to your environment. Grab a basket. Any basket will work for this. I have this basket from a gift basket someone sent me for Christmas, and I took it outside, I spray painted it white, and I grabbed some of the black foam board from Dollar Tree, and I just cut it to fit. I was using this basket for little hand towels actually, but then I switched it up and I didn't want to throw it out. So when I was working with the foam board, I kept getting nail impressions on it because you get what you pay for, and it was super cheap, and this marks up really, the foam board at Dollar Tree does mark up really easy on the surface. So I did have to get some poster board, cut it out to be the same size, and then glue it on top with a glue stick. And that just made it much more sturdy because now I could actually lean in and write on it without it leaving a groove. It was really denting really bad. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it was leaving marks. So here's a Dollar Tree wooden cutout. I cut the bunny off to use as a template. You can also find these kind of bunnies online to use. And I used one of the metal signs from Dollar Tree as a template as well. Again, you can find templates online. You can make them on your computer to use. And then I had this stencil, and I just covered the other stencils. I don't know why they put them so close together. It makes it really, really hard, in my opinion. I don't know. But I covered it with the masking tape. That's a nice little hack so that I didn't accidentally stencil like the other stencils. So I went about stenciling my little vine all over this, and essentially I just take a white chalk pen and I trace everything, and then wherever it doesn't come out very good, I touch it up with white paint, and I do a very light dry brushing of black paint over it. So if you see it at the end and it's kind of like uneven white, that's why. It was just to cover some of the flaws from the chalk pen. And then I did have to elevate it using 3 towering blocks from Dollar Tree because the bottom of the basket just wasn't flat enough. I did the edge with some nautical rope. I added some bows and some lamb's ear, and this came up so high-end looking. I love this one. found a bunny template online. See how similar that is? They're all kind of the same and they're so easy to find online. Now this one wasn't quite big enough, so I used a marker, like a super thick chunky one on purpose, and pressed it down to get an extra wide line and get it nice and even, and that worked. Cut out 2 of them in cardboard, and then I started stuffing in pool noodles in the middle to make it bulkier. Then to add weight, I used the towering blocks. Now, I hate the dark brown towering blocks that they used to sell. I haven't seen those lately, so hopefully they were like, they didn't sell as well, so they figured it out. I just thought it was weird to have those. Anyway, I didn't like it. Well, because I craft with these, right? For the game, it doesn't matter, but I craft with them. So to add weight, I used those because I don't care if they're not seen. And I just glued them all over the foam board. And then I covered this bunny entirely with masking tape. And it was super heavy when I was done. This actually, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful when it's done. Wait and see. Stay with me. So that's what it looks like when it's all wrapped up. If I had to do it again, I probably would add some more blocks around the edges because I did have room and it would have given it a little bit more bulk, but that's just an afterthought. I mean, you don't have to. So we're going to cover this with pinto beans. I saw something in Pottery Barn. It was a stone rabbit. It looked so beautiful. And the colors were like pinto beans. I mean, that's what it reminded me of. You could ground up other beans and experiment, see what colors you like. I just wanted it to look very much like a cob pebbled little pathway, like in a garden, you know, where people put little rocks. Because it's supposed to be like a Beatrice Potter inspired, Pottery Barn type inspired, like all inspired, all in one bunny. And so I took some Mod Podge. I was very generous with it. And as you can see, I just used foil to cover a pan. You can get those plastic trays from Dollar Tree. They're great for that. And if you want to reuse them over and over, just cover them with some foil. And then you can throw the foil away afterwards. And then I literally just covered this with the pinto beans, which I grinded up in a blender. It was super simple. They're softer than what I thought. Like it took seconds. I was scared I was going to break my blades or something on my blender. But my blender incinerated them just fine and it was super easy. So you do need to do the front and back first because you need to hold the bunny on the side to do that. And then it's easier to do the sides afterwards. I don't know. That's what I did. I just found the little covering didn't, the beans didn't slip around so much. This is the next day when it's dry. And of course I'm going to add Mod Podge to make it look shinier like it's actually stone and also to hold everything in place, even though they weren't moving at all. I just felt like this made it look more like stone and store-bought. And again, you have to remember, I'm trying to copy something I saw at Pottery Barn. So this is the next step. When the Mod Podge dries, I take some of the color in Pavement from Apple Barrel Paint and a sponge, and I just start, putting it around the edge, adding those little spots that the Beatrice Potter buddies have. You know what I mean? They're like those little gray spots. Or maybe it's not Beatrice Potter. I've just seen that before, and I love that, like in storybooks. So that's what I was trying to do. Plus, again, I'm trying to copy what I saw in the store. And then I glued a delicate little white bow around the top. I just did a ribbon around its neck, and then a little tiny white bow at the very top. And this came up absolutely gorgeous. It looked so real. One of my favorites. Oh my gosh, stay for this one. It is so gorgeous. Wait till you see how this comes out. These little wood, they're not signs really. They're just like little wood pieces. I don't know what they call them actually. And they weren't from the Dollar Tree because the edges are rounded and the ones at the Dollar Tree are not, but you certainly could sand them to be that way. And you could leave them square too. It would still look gorgeous. But these did not come from the Dollar Tree originally. They were in a package and I don't remember where they were from. I put a little white paint on the center of them to brighten them up because we are going to put these little images down in the middle and I wanted those to pop, but I still wanted the natural wood to show through. So this is a free printable. It'll be down below. I am doing it the old school way where I just cut them out and then I took a glue stick and glued them down and it worked great. If you have something like sticker paper or anything else that you could print on that's already pre-sticky, you know what I mean? Like since then I have printed on sticker paper and of course it would have been perfect for this application. The good thing about using the computer paper is it's a little less noticeable sticker paper for sure if you want it to look more like a painted image for sure. Now I'm taking some brown paint and I'm just going around the edges of these because I just thought they looked a little bit plain and I wanted them to have like a border. And then I take some craft sticks and I'm going to use those to glue them together like in a, I don't know, like it's not a palette because these are just squares. They're not long, but I kind of used the palette like composition, I guess, where they hold it together with wood in the back to hold these together. You could also use ribbon for this or burlap. All of it would be really pretty. The only thing I would do differently is stain the craft sticks a little bit before I put them in. I mean, I did it this way because when I turned it around, I went, oh, those kind of look too light. So I had to get them to match the rest of my project. And then I glued a hanger on the back. And because this was so lightweight, I didn't, go crazy. I just put a little bit of glue and some masking tape over it to hold it. This is so well loved to this day. It's one of my most clicked on Pinterest. 3 YouTubers did a collaboration and honored me by making this because they loved it. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, loved the crafts, had fun today, and were inspired, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share it. It really helps me get seen on YouTube, and I appreciate it more than you can know. And as always, here's another video I think you might enjoy watching next.